What's up, musicologists? Welcome to Amari Music Talk. I'm Richard Cole, and today I'm going to talk about the commemorative 40th anniversary book about Purple Rain, written by Andrea Swenson. So I'm going to do an unboxing here. If you're listening on the podcast platform, then I'll put a link to the YouTube video so you can see what's going on as well. But also going to talk about the 40th anniversary re-release of Purple Rain, this time on 4K Blu-ray. So that's going to be exciting. And with all this purple goodness going on, will we get a box set? Well, let's find out. So before we dive in, make sure you hit like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. Of course, if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, be sure to download, share the content, take it with you on those summer road trips, and also become a Patreon supporter. That way you get early access to episodes and bonus content as well. And be sure to visit the richardcolemusic.com website. Help support Amari Communications by purchasing merchandise such as the brand new We Funk t-shirts. Also, my favorite, the brand new Amari Music Talk t-shirts. Everything is designed here by Amari Communications, and there'll be new stuff coming soon. So visit the website and check it out. And thank you. Alright, so the commemorative 40th anniversary book about Purple Rain. Let's see, I received my copy on Tuesday, which would have been the 21st of May. So probably by the time this episode airs, which will be on the holiday weekend here for Memorial Day. So I got this on Tuesday, so I decided to wait until I did the episode to take it out of the box and check it out, see what's going on with it. I think now I'm just now starting to get into the excitement for Purple Rain. The week prior, we had the 40th anniversary of the release of the single When Doves Cry. I remember that day very, very well. It was the afternoon, had just got in the house from being outside and everything. I was about 18, had my high school graduation the week before, so I'm just out and about. Just came back home for the afternoon for a quick minute and had the radio on, and When Doves Cry came on, it was like, man, talk about a mind-blowing experience. Every time I listen to that track now, I'm automatically taken back to that day. So that song definitely is one that never gets old, and I don't know, but I have to talk about more about that on another episode. But getting back to this, I think starting with that milestone, I was excited. And then I had pre-ordered this book a while, like months ago, and just didn't think really much about it. But as I was kind of reminded, your orders will be delivered on Tuesday, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I'm seeing a few other people talk about it online, or I've seen Michael Dean post his copy that he received, and I'm like, oh, I'm starting to kind of get into the excitement now. Especially with the Blu-ray release. But anyway, let's start off with the book here. And let's see, it's kind of a little bit like Fort Knox with this one, so let's figure out how to open this up. Let's see. Put these little kung fu skills to use here. I may have to do some editing. This is some heavy duty packaging. You know, even the vinyl doesn't come this secure. All right. There we go. All right. Let's see. Okay. Nice. Okay, so we've got 40 years. Prince. Purple Rain. All right, looks good. Nice little outer case. Here, what's this? That's beautiful. What is this? Velvet? And actually, it is velvet. Nice. Okay, was this outer packaging? Let's see. In 1984, Prince released what would become his best-selling album and one of the most influential works in pop and rock history. Music journalist and Prince scholar Andrea Swenson explores the legendary musician's landmark album, beginning with Prince's Minneapolis upbringing and his releases leading up to Purple Rain, and continuing with his crucial backing band The Revolution, track by track analysis of both album sides, the accompanying film, and its multi-platinum soundtrack, and the B-sides and vault tracks that resulted from Purple Rain, featuring a foreword by Prince superfan Maya Rudolph, and illustrated with performance and offstage photography as well as memorabilia from top Prince collectors. This edition is a gorgeous celebration of the masterpiece and its creator. Alright, and there's a little hype sticker here. I'm still hang on to that, but I can't see myself putting it with the outer packaging there. So yeah, that is very nice. And then here is the book itself. Alright, and then there's the back cover, front cover, and just kind of go through that, and there's your table of contents and photographs here. I kind of remember like maybe alternate versions or other photographs, probably from the same photo shoots, that was kind of in circulation in different magazines and books that were around in 1984. So yeah, so just those alone, that's kind of taking me back. But yes, we got, like I said, we got table of contents, and forward by Maya Rudolph. Author with Bobby Z, and just kind of go some stuff. So kind of like brief overview of his career leading up to Purple Rain. Yeah, got Apollonia 6 being represented there. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, talk about being taken back. Yeah, so B-sides and vault tracks. But yeah, so yeah, it looks good. lots of pictures. I guess some items covering kind of Prince's later years. So yeah, just kind of an idea of what to look for, what to look forward to in this book. It's a pretty nice sized book. Um, so lots of pictures, lots of text, so a lot of historical information involved, and I can't wait to start diving into this now. So like I said, just something like this is like that momentum for me is starting to build now, especially with no announcement of a box set. Now as I'm recording this might change, and I'm kind of going on social media, and usually I'll see something pop up within first couple of scrolls of any hype or excitement about it, but so far nothing yet. But like I said, because of that, without that information or that announcement of a release date for a box set, like I said, this is building towards that excitement for me. So starting with the acknowledgement of When Doves Cry, the release of this book, the news of the 4K edition on Blu-ray. I am excited. So let's see. It's a little small compared to the section I've got with other box sets. So I don't know. For now, I'll stack it up there in that honored stack, so it'll sit on top of Stevie Wonder, A Musical Guide to the Classic Albums. Another great book you should check out. Might be a little hard to find, but you can still probably find a copy at a decent price. So check that out. A little quick plug for that as well. But this looks good. I think this, the Purple Rain 40 years, I think that's something worth having. It's just part of your Prince archives. By all means, so check it out. Like I said, I can't wait to check it out and go deep and read and look at the pictures and reminisce, and hopefully at some point, even though I've got Purple Rain on vinyl here, I've got the 2017 deluxe edition, but hopefully there'll be a actual box set that I can just crack the book open and celebrate. So who knows? We'll see as time goes by. So let's move on to, will we get a Purple Rain box set? So again, no official announcement from Prince Estate, no official announcement from Warner Brothers or Sony, well, Sony Legacy, and in other news, water wet. So, but hopefully there's something. About over a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now, there was an announcement for a box set for John Lennon's Mind Games album, and it's, that's an album, like the John Lennon fans are familiar with. It had a couple of hits on it, but it wasn't as big as, say, Imagine or Plastic Ono Band. And he had even a bigger single with the album that came after that. But it's still something that John Lennon fans are excited about. And that was announced 2 weeks ago, and its release is in July. So I'm like, well, granted, there's still plenty of time to announce it. Like I said, hopefully there will be one. And hopefully when that does, maybe, July, maybe August, for that, hopefully, maybe in time for the holidays, who knows? But, hopefully we'll get one. I've done a video a while back about how to do the perfect, or how to make the perfect Purple Rain box set. You can still check that out on YouTube. But like I said, that's just in general of what would make a great box set. But what would I like to see on a Purple Rain box set? Well, definitely number one, a proper remaster of the original album. Um, I also did a video some years back um, comparing the infamous Paisley Park remaster that was done by Joshua Welton. He's kind of like, Prince's right arm, kind of in those later years. He's kind of taking him under his wing, and kind of one of the few people in Prince's career that can boast a production credit on Prince albums, for, if not the majority, then the entirety of the album. But, he was still, like I said, up and coming. And, I kind of defended that remaster on the strength of, number one, it is not an easy science at all. Mastering, I've put stuff out and I can't even say that I've got it down pat. So, I recognize it's not an easy thing to do, and probably should have been something that huge should have been left to the more experienced mastering engineers that's in the industry. But I guess Prince trying to be totally independent, no surprise. But like in that video I mentioned that it sounds great or some songs sound great depending on the medium in which you listen to it. Like I said, there's times in the car, when it's reduced to MP3, it doesn't sound bad. If you're listening to it on CD or even streaming, yeah, there are definitely nuances that my ears have been accustomed to for decades that just get lost. I mean, there, a certain amount of bass. Some things are too high where it shouldn't be. There's some things that's too low where it shouldn't be. And where if you're living with that original vinyl, that original cassette, and again, depending on what type of system you had coming up, like I said, that deepness, like I said, listening to When Doves Cry, listening to The Beautiful Ones, those things in that Paisley Park remaster get lost. But then in the car, there's some things that still get lost with certain songs, like The Beautiful Ones. But then there's something like Computer Blue or Darling Nikki where it doesn't sound bad. It sounds pretty good, if you're just driving in the car. But I think a really proper remaster, again, if you take it to Bernie Grumman Mastering, they have skilled and experienced, mastering engineers that would make it sound great, And I think an album of this importance, it deserves that level of mastering. I don't think at this stage where you have certain artists, again, if you're pointing to the Beatles, I don't know, maybe Hendrix to a certain point, where you're getting a remix, thereby creating sort of like a new master that's mixed for today's, listening habits, today's sound systems, whether you're listening to it on your little, phone device, or if you're Bluetoothing it through, your 5.1 Adobe Atmos sound system, home systems, theater systems, car systems. I don't know if we're ready for that stage, but it definitely does deserve a proper remaster. When it comes to the bonus material, again, the 2017 release was definitely lacking. It was just one disc of all tracks, and quite a number of those tracks had nothing to do with Purple Rain. a number of those tracks weren't even recorded during the Purple Rain sessions. So what I would like to see, you know, if you got 2-3 discs of vault tracks, everything or anything that was recorded between March 26th of 1983 and May 20, or no, I take that back, that should be April 25th of 1984. Anything recorded within that realm was almost fair game for ending up on Purple Rain. You know, whether it was intended or, you know, even if it was something that was for Apollonia 6 album, Sheila E's album, there are songs that were recorded within that time frame and was in circulation. So just giving historical context, because we're not just talking about, in this case, just the film. We're also talking about an album. And the album is a rarity in itself. It's kind of a soundtrack album, but not really. You know, it's like, you know, it's a soundtrack album, but, you know, in comparison, you know, it's basically, you know, it's Prince's, whatever you want to call it. It's his Thriller. It's his, maybe not quite Sgt. Pepper. It could be like his Rubber Soul Revolver. You know, it's part of that canon. And we don't always listen to it as part of the film all the time. So it's kind of unique in that respect. But given that this was music for film, and the film, you know, had been completed, and, you know, you're about a month away from the release of the first single, that means, you know, the album's pretty much done, it's sequenced, it's ready to go. In fact, it was, you know, a few months later, it was released in July. So I would say that cutoff being April 25th, because the last song recorded was for this album. You know, which you see in the scene with Morris Day and Apollonia, the song Possessed. So that was like the last thing recorded for the film. So having that range, so in this case with Dance Electric, which was on the 2017 sort of expanded edition, had nothing to do with Purple Rain, wasn't even recorded during Purple Rain, you know, bump that to an Around the World in a Day box set, or some kind of special compilation if you want to commemorate, you know, do a compilation of 1984, 85 sessions, include it for something like that, but kind of just leave that off of Purple Rain. You know, include any Prince originals, like with the Originals project, we had like vocal versions of Jungle Love from Prince, vocal version of Glamorous Life, you know, include those as well. You know, whether it's the Glamorous Life, Apollonia 6, or The Time. Any original Prince vocals, include those, plus the extended version of 17 Days, which there was this sort of unofficial leak, or something in circulation, that I haven't had a chance. Well, I've heard it for the first time, put it that way, and I think it's great. You know, I have to go back and listen to it again, but yeah, definitely include that in the box set. You have to include it in the box set. Make it official. The next thing I would like to see would be associated artist vault tracks. So there are studio versions of Jungle Love and the Bird, whereas the tracks included on the Times Ice Cream Castles are taken from First Avenue Performance, done in 1983. So, but having those studio versions, especially of the Bird, if you haven't had a chance to seek that out, you know, if somebody in your circle has a nice collection, let them share that with you. But man, that's all Prince. It's more on vocals, but it's all Prince. You know, drums, guitars, bass, keyboards. Amazing, amazing track. So definitely check that out. You know, maybe the original track listing from Apollonia 6 album, which included her version of Manic Monday that's on it, include that. So, I mean, that's what we want to see, especially something of the importance of a 40th anniversary of Purple Rain. You know, the 2017 release, to me, that was just a quick cash grab. It's unfortunate that they had to use Purple Rain for something like that. They could have waited and come out with a comprehensive box set. But, you know, this is the 40th anniversary, so hopefully we can still get something that's comprehensive. Also, like as far as live material, the audio should be the June 7th, 1984 birthday show from First Avenue. That should be included. The Blu-ray performance should be the full performance of the August 3rd, 1983. It was benefit for Minneapolis Dance, Dance Company, Dance Theater. But Prince did a fundraiser, and that's the historic concert where Baby I'm a Star, I Would Die for You, and Purple Rain debuted for the first time. In fact, those recordings were used as the basis for the actual tracks on the Purple Rain album. I was given some, some overdubs here and there, especially Purple Rain with the addition of, the strings, with the violins and the cellos and everything. But minus those overdubs, what you hear on that benefit show is the raw, uncut versions of those songs, especially Purple Rain, which on this concert has an extra verse. It has an extra, like it's a third verse that's included with it. Something like that, as opposed to, depending on who you talk to, there's an Atlanta concert that was professionally filmed, kind of along the lines of the Live at Syracuse, which has had several official releases over the last few years. Depending on who you talk to, some say it's kind of redundant. Some say it's better than the Syracuse performance. But, you can kind of release that on another day. You could release that as a standalone. I think something like the First Avenue performance would work better with the Purple Rain box set. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. And from there, I'm going to go to the recent announcement of the Purple Rain 4K release. So this is according to Variety. The beautiful ones are about to look more beautiful than ever. On June 25th, Warner Home Video will commemorate the 40th anniversary of Prince's Purple Rain with a release of the breakthrough film on 4K UHD and digital platforms. In addition to upgraded picture and sound, the release will be accompanied by legacy bonus content, including 8 music videos. Alright, co-written and directed by Albert McNolly, Purple Rain was released on July 27th, 1984, loosely inspired by Prince's own life. The film earned more than $70 million worldwide, earned an Academy Award for Best Original Song Score, and immediately catapulted the then 26-year-old artist to superstardom. It co-starred Apollonia Quintero as the protege and love interest on Prince's character, The Kid, as well as members of his band, The Revolution, and additional artists for which Prince had written or produced songs such as The Time. its soundtrack featuring the songs Let's Go Crazy, When Doves Cry, and I Would Die For You, in addition to the epic title track, has since sold more than 25 million copies. Alright, so as far as bonus content, I'll tell you now based on what Variety has reported. It's going to be the same as the 20, well, this is the Blu-ray version, but this kind of borrows heavily from the 20th anniversary DVD that was released back in 2024. Basically, you're still getting the commentary by director Albert McNolly, producer Robert Cavallo, and cinematographer Donald E. Thorin. Let's see, First Avenue, The Road to Pop Royalty featurette. You still get the music videos from Let's Go Crazy, Take Me With You, When Doves Cry, I Would Die For You / Baby I'm a Star, Purple Rain, Jungle Love, The Bird, and Sex Shooter. Not included, according to Variety, in the new release are a handful of previously existing bonus materials, including the making of documentary, Purple Rain Backstage Pass, and the 1984 MTV premiere party for the film. So, of these two things, I would probably miss the Purple Rain Backstage Pass documentary because I think that's historical information. I think, you would need to keep something like that. Just having, it's weird that they have the First Avenue documentary, but then not have a documentary on the making of the film. There's that. The MTV premiere party for the film, it's a nice little curio to have. I really honestly wouldn't miss it. I think it would be cool like if you did an actual bona fide documentary, include that footage, and who knows, the upcoming, well, we don't have a release date for that either, but the Netflix documentary, maybe that's utilizing some of that information or historical context. Maybe we'll see that turn up in a bona fide Netflix documentary, especially if they do it in docu-series form, so you can have an episode to where the majority of that episode focuses on the making of Purple Rain. So I don't know, maybe they're saving, that, omitting that documentary for something bigger or better down the line. But I would say if that is something that you are interested in seeing, if you still want to get the 4K, just to have it on 4K, do that. But you still have the Blu-ray that's still in circulation, so you can get a copy of the Blu-ray and you will have that documentary available. But what do you think? Are you excited about that being released on 4K? Are you planning on getting it on 4K? Would you like to see more, to have seen more extras on the 4K release? Or do you think that they're saving some of those documentary or some of the footage for the Netflix documentary? Leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. And you know what? That's going to end this episode of Amari Music Talk. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also, if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, to download the episode. That lets me know how well that's doing, and I can continue that on that format. Also, become a Patreon supporter. That also helps bring even more content to YouTube, to Patreon, especially the bonus materials. Helped me to upgrade some equipment as well. But if you can't do that, then definitely liking and subscribing definitely helps this show as well. So until next time, create your day, create your life. Peace.